Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. I've given you guys a lovely view here of the side of a container and a tree, out and about most of today. And I have been monitoring, like no doubt all of you guys have, the Sandro Tonali situation. I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. Don't want to concentrate too much on Tonali himself, actually. I want to talk a little bit about Newcastle United, AC Milan, you know, kind of what's really gone on here, because I personally think it's quite tough to believe that, well, Sandro himself must have known this was going on, that AC Milan had no idea, and if Newcastle didn't have any idea, who's doing the background checks on this one? I actually did a video yesterday. I did Toon Tuesdays yesterday, spoke a little bit about Sandro Tonali and kind of what's been going on up to this point, what's kind of been in the media at this point. Spoke about the fact that he was at the Turin prosecution office yesterday in his hearing. And a lot of people were saying, you know, don't judge until it's done, innocent until proven guilty. And I totally respect that. I think a couple of you guys had said in the comments that I was jumping on it too quickly, but this is how quickly things are moving, and it's not all good news, and it's not always great, and it's very, very bad news for Newcastle United as of today, because Newcastle have officially released a statement. They have said that Tonali is under investigation. They are giving the player their full backing and will support him through this process. Now, it's being reported today that Tonali has, and this is why it's been constantly moving, and I suppose people are right to say don't jump on things too quickly, but initially it was, might he be okay, because the Italy rules are slightly different to the English rules on what is allowed to gamble and what's not, and is it sports betting, it was just blackjack and roulette, and then there was a few photos coming out of him in a few different casinos, then it was blackjack and roulette but illegally online. Then it was it sports betting online? It's being reported today, and I'm continue to say reported because until everything is officially in black and white, I worry you overstep the mark. But it's reported by Sky Sports and a hell of a lot of people that he has now admitted that he did in fact sports bet, but not just sports bet, but also allegedly placed bets on his own team, AC Milan, at the time of playing. That's bad. That ain't good, you know. And I said at the start of this video, I'm not going to come on and have a slanging match about Sandro Tonali, but yeah, in terms of sports betting, it ain't good. And I do think that we will find out soon enough what the punishment will be. They are saying that because Tonali came forward and has basically reportedly admitted to his wrongdoings, that the ban will be put to a shorter length. And as Newcastle fans, all we can do now is wait and see what happens. You know, we did fine last season with Joe Linton, Bruno and Longstaff in the short term. You know, I'm hoping we'll do fine again, but in the long term, we brought Tonali in for a reason. It was to shake up that midfield. It was to give us that little bit more depth. With Joe Linton out at the moment and Willock out as well, we're hoping to see Joe Linton back this weekend, but now we're looking at Elliot Anderson to step in and do probably more of a role than he was maybe expected to in that middle of the three. You know, for me, I'm feeling Anderson really is a more attacking, flowing number 10 player of anything, and we're now trying to shove him into one of them three, which he can do, and he has done very well in the last few games, but we're now being linked to players in the January window already. Calvin Phillips, my God, that name will forever go around the rumours of Newcastle. Maybe this January window is when it finally happens. In terms of Newcastle United, AC Milan and what's going on behind the scenes, you know, your guess is as good as mine. Again, being careful with what I say. You talk about the Figoli situation at Juventus. Now, he's been given a 7-match ban. He's understood to be one of 40 Italians who are under investigation, players in the Italian league who are under investigation right now. He's been given a 7-match ban. They reckon that because he came forward and, you know, well, well, from what it looks like, in my opinion, whistle blew on a few others. You know, he's actually been given quite a reduced sentence because Tonali sounds like has been one of the few who has stepped forward quite early on, has given his what appears to be honest and open responses, is hopefully going to see him get a 7 to 12 month ban rather than a 3-year ban. And look, that's why I'm trying to be careful when I talk about Tonali, because they have come out and said, you know, it is a problem, it is a gambling addiction, and because of that, I don't want to, you know, as I say, have a slanging match about the player. But I tell you what, it really has dropped us in the mud, yeah. big style. In terms of AC Milan, you know, I've no doubt they will say that they had no knowledge of this whatsoever. Lots of people are starting to turn around and go, Tonali left his boyhood club for the big call up to Newcastle, which we all, well, me included, going, yeah, hell yeah. Wants to come to the Premier League, wants to get into a Champions League side, wants to fight for a team who are always on the up. And look, in a few years, 5 years' time, you know, I'm hoping we're going to be past an AC Milan in terms of Champions League football and play great games. And as a young player, it's a big move for him. But I tell you what, he's going in the right direction. Yeah, people are now starting to say, oh, actually, was this the chance for him to make that move? Was this the chance for him to get out of there? Knowing fine well what had gone on in the background. You've got to ask what fault lies here, and you have to assume that Amanda and Murdad were straight on the phone to their lawyers and saying, hang on a second, what was admitted at the time? Because presumably contracts were signed in the belief or knowledge that they had done no wrongdoing. You know, you don't just sign for a football team. You know that dotted line, would you sign on and get all those checks on? I will say I'm not legal and I don't know, but I presume in that contract somewhere it says, I believe I have done nothing against the rules, or I believe I've done no wrongdoings, or whatever. And if you are signing to say that and you have done it, there must be something in the background of that which you can bring forward. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to tear his contract up and say, see you later. I don't know if we might well go away, AC Milan, and, you know, put them to the wall for it. And if it is a 7-month ban, it's like having an ACL injury and he'll be back, but except he can train from now till the start of next season and he will come back bigger and better than ever. So I'm not saying the Tonali story is over. What I'm interested to know is who's done the background checks, who knew what, and what hasn't been said. And I think that's what's most disappointing of all of this. You could look at Dan Ashworth, you could look at the Newcastle side of things, because, again, checks needed to have been done on this, which seem to have just kind of... well, they must have been done. They just haven't found what they should have found at the time of looking. And to throw blame either way at the moment, I think is unfair. I think probably the answer is probably there's blame to share everywhere. But what we do next is going to be key. And I think what information we really need is to know is how long this ban is going to be. And if it is going to be until this time next year, that Newcastle find the solutions to strengthen that midfield quick. But, you know, that's 50 million, 60 million pounds out of action for 12 years. For a year, 12 months. I ain't good. You let me know your thoughts on all of that down below. As I say, try not to have a slanger match with Tonali here, because at the end of the day, if it is a problem and it is an issue, it's more about the fact of going in, you know, and I guess this has been happening before he got here. You know, it's not just he's turned up and the issue started. This has been a problem in the background. It's not been spoken about, hasn't been raised. Newcastle have paid the money. Oops, hang on, this is an issue. You know, I think that's what's very disappointing for me. Let me know your thoughts on it down below, guys. As I choke to death, lots of people talking about this one right now. Palace on Saturday. Yeah, we'll see what happens over the next 24 hours, and then we switch on for a big game at the weekend as we return to the Premier League. Thanks for watching, guys. Thoughts down below on Tonali, Newcastle, AC Milan, the transfer in general, and everything going on behind the scenes on this one. Thanks to my lovely background. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.